The university had a staff education program. Anyone who worked there could take one class per semester, free, online or evening sections. I enrolled the same day I found out, didn't tell a soul, used my supervisor's address for all the paperwork. Started with Introduction to Biology. That first semester, I was balancing 3 jobs and doing homework at 3 in the morning on a cot. I got an A. Something woke up inside me, something I thought they'd killed years ago. I took another class, then another. Built my schedule around lecture times. When my family asked where I was, I said extra cleaning shifts. Nobody questioned it. Nobody cared, as long as the money kept coming. I'd sit in the back of lecture halls in my janitor uniform taking notes. Nobody paid attention to the cleaning lady in the corner. By the time Jessica graduated with her bachelor's, I was halfway through mine. She came home with her diploma like she'd conquered Everest. Mom threw this massive party, catered food, 200 guests. I worked that party. Literally worked it. Mom made me serve appetizers to save money on staff costs. Jessica gave this whole speech about following dreams and family sacrifice and gratitude. She looked right at me while saying it. I was holding a tray of champagne glasses. She took one without a word and turned away. That night, Dad cornered me in the kitchen. Jessica's moving back home temporarily. She needs time to find the right opportunity. You understand. I understood perfectly. She wasn't getting a job, wasn't contributing, was going to keep draining me dry. How long, I asked. As long as it takes. We need you to increase your financial contribution. I'm already working 70 hours, then work 80. I picked up overnight shifts at the hospital. Cleaning surgical suites. The pay was better, but the hours were brutal. I'd finish at 6 a.m. and go straight to the diner. I was running on coffee and pure spite at that point. But I kept taking classes. Finished my bachelor's in 3 years total. Applied to the graduate program. Got accepted with a research assistant position that actually paid. The position was in the biomedical lab I'd been cleaning for 4 years. The head researcher, Dr. Chen, had noticed me. Had seen me asking questions about equipment. You're wasting your potential, she'd said one night. Come work for me. Properly. I did. Told my family I got promoted to head janitor. Big raise. They didn't ask questions. Just wanted to know how much more money they'd get. Jessica had been home for 2 years by then. 2 years of brunch and yoga and online shopping, all on my dime. Then she met Marcus, investment banker, old money family, drove a Tesla. Suddenly, Jessica had a future again. Suddenly, Mom was planning engagement parties. We need $15,000, Mom announced. Venue deposit. I don't have $15,000. You've been saving, haven't you? Where's all that money going? Into tuition I couldn't tell her about. Into my research. Into building a life they couldn't see. I'll figure something out, I said. I took out a credit card, put the deposit on it, added it to my secret mountain of debt. The engagement party was huge. Jessica in designer clothes, Mom inviting every person we'd ever met, Dad giving speeches about his brilliant daughter who found such an accomplished man. I wasn't introduced to Marcus's family. Mom told me to stay in the kitchen, said I looked too rough around the edges to be presentable. I watched through the doorway as Jessica sparkled, as Marcus's parents admired her, as everyone celebrated a life I'd bought for her with my blood and sweat. And I smiled, because I was 6 months from my master's, because Dr. Chen was helping me apply to PhD programs, because I had a plan forming in my mind. A plan that would take 3 more years, a plan that required perfect patience and perfect silence and perfect timing, but it was coming. 3 years into my PhD, then Thanksgiving happened, the Thanksgiving that shattered whatever was left. Mom called while I was at the lab. I hadn't slept in 2 days, was analyzing cell cultures, were having Marcus's family over for dinner. She said, very important event. Okay, what time should... You're not invited. I stopped moving. Put down my pipette. What did you say? Jessica and Marcus are getting very serious. His parents are traditional people, very accomplished, very wealthy. Her voice was ice cold. You'll give the wrong impression. I'm your daughter, and Jessica is our priority right now. This marriage could set her up for life, could set all of us up. We can't risk having you there looking exhausted and poor, and frankly a bit tragic. My hands started shaking. I've been working since I was 18, funding everything, which is exactly why you look like you do. You look tired. You look old. 28 going on 50. It's not the image we need right now. Pain shot through my chest, so I just stay away? It's one dinner, Emily. Don't be melodramatic. Oh, and we need 3,000 by Friday. Jessica's getting her dress altered and Marcus is taking her to wine country. She hung up. I stood in that empty lab, looked at my reflection in the dark window. She was right. I did look exhausted. Dark circles that never faded. Gray hairs at 28, hands cracked and red from chemicals. I'd given them a decade, my youth, my health, my entire life, and I wasn't good enough to sit at their table. I went anyway. I don't know why. Maybe I needed to see it with my own eyes. Showed up at 6 p.m., still wearing my lab coat. Knocked on the front door. Dad opened it. His face turned. How could you help me without the lab coat? I was easily surprised that the lab coat was an evil man. It's Thanksgiving. It's a business dinner. Go back to wherever you came from. Through the gap, I could see them all. Jessica in this cream-colored dress. Marcus in an expensive suit. His parents laughing over cocktails. Mom bringing out appetizers on the china I'd paid for. I paid for this house, I said quietly. And we appreciate that. But appreciation doesn't mean you get to ruin Jessica's big opportunity. She's about to marry into serious wealth. Real success. Not whatever sad situation you've got going, my sad situation, the 3 jobs thing, the martyr act. We get it. You're the worker bee. Great. Now be responsible enough to leave and not mess this up. Behind him, I heard Marcus's mother. Linda, you have such a lovely home. You must be so proud of your daughter. Mom's voice floated out clear as crystal. Oh, we are. Jessica is our only child. Our whole world. Our only child. Something inside me didn't explode. It froze. Went cold and sharp and clear. Dad was still talking. We'll call you next week about the wedding deposit. 25,000. Start picking up extra shifts. He closed the door, locked it, left me standing on the porch in the cold. I looked through the window at my family, at my sister wearing the life I'd built, at my parents pretending I didn't exist. I made a decision right there. They wanted me gone. They'd get their wish, but they were going to lose everything first. The invitation was deliberately vague. University ceremony. Professional attire recommended. Your attendance would be appreciated. Mom called immediately. What is this? Some kind of staff awards thing? Something like that, I said calmly. It would mean a lot if you came. She sighed, like I was asking her to donate a kidney. Fine, but we can't stay long. Jessica has a final dress fitting. They showed up in jeans and hoodies. All 3 of them. Found seats in the very back row. Mom kept checking her watch. Dad scrolled through his phone. Jessica examined her manicure. The auditorium filled with people in suits, professors, researchers, industry representatives. Mom whispered to Dad, probably asking why important people were at a janitor ceremony. Then the dean walked onto the stage. Ladies and gentlemen, today marks the culmination of 6 years of pioneering research. Please welcome our doctoral candidate, Miss Emily Thompson. I walked onto that stage in my academic robes, heard the collective gasp from the back row. The defense took 2 full hours. I presented my research, answered complex questions from my committee, explained gene therapy applications that could save children's lives. I didn't look at them once during the defense, but I could feel them squirming when my committee chair stood up and said, "Congratulations, Dr. Thompson." The entire room erupted in applause. I finally looked back. Mom's face was sheet white. Dad's jaw was hanging open. Jessica gripped her chair like she might fall over. The reception was in the next building. A professor personally guided my family there. They moved like zombies. I found Dr. Chen at the reception. "Ready?" she asked. More than ready. We'd set up a projection screen, large enough for everyone to see clearly. I walked to the microphone. Thank you all for being here. Before we celebrate, I want to share something personal. The room went quiet. My family stood near the back wall. Marcus was with them now. His parents, too. The same ones from Thanksgiving. For 10 years, I've financially supported my family. My mother, Linda. My father, Frank. My sister, Jessica. I clicked the remote. The screen lit up with bank statements. Rows and rows of transfers. $387,000 total, while working 3 jobs and secretly earning this doctorate. Murmurs rippled through the crowd. People turned to stare at my family. Mom stepped forward. "Emily, stop this right." They told everyone I was a janitor, which I was. I cleaned the buildings where I secretly studied, where I conducted research. where I earned this degree. Another click. More recent statements. Last month, $20,000 for my sister's wedding venue. The month before, $15,000 for her engagement party. Jessica's face turned scarlet. Marcus was staring at her. His mother whispered something sharp in his ear. Here's the interesting part, though. That house they live in? The one I've paid the mortgage on for 7 years, it's legally in my name. They put it there themselves for tax purposes. Dad pushed through the crowd. You need to stop. I sold it. Closed 3 days ago. They have 30 days to vacate. Complete silence. You could hear people breathing. Mom's voice cracked. You can't do this. We're family. No, Jessica is your family. Your only child. Remember? That's what you told Marcus's parents at Thanksgiving while I stood outside the house I paid for. Marcus's mother grabbed his arm, pulled him away from Jessica, whispered urgently. Marcus turned to Jessica. His face was stone. You've never worked. Your sister paid for everything. You lied to me. Jessica opened her mouth. Nothing came out. We're done, Marcus said. He pulled her engagement ring off her finger, handed it back to her. Completely done. He walked out. His parents followed. Jessica stood there trembling. I stepped down from the platform, walked past my family without making eye contact. Dr. Chen handed me a pen. The Gene Medics contract sat on the table. I signed it. $400,000 per year. Senior researcher. My name on patents. Behind me, Mom was crying. Dad was yelling. Jessica was sobbing. I didn't turn around. I was done with all of them. 200 people staring at me. That's what I saw from the podium. The auditorium was full. Professors in their fancy suits. Other PhD candidates. My research committee sitting front and center. All eyes on me. And way in the back. Last row. 3 people who had zero clue what was happening. My mom wore a hoodie. Literally, a hoodie. My dad kept scrolling through his phone like he was at the DMV. My sister looked like she'd rather be anywhere else. They thought this was some employee appreciation thing. They thought I dragged them here to watch me get a plaque for cleaning toilets. They had no idea I was about to defend 6 years of doctoral research. The dean walked up to the mic. His voice echoed through the whole space. Welcome, everyone. Today we witness the defense of a groundbreaking dissertation. Please welcome our doctoral candidate, Miss Emily Thompson. I watched my mother's head snap up like someone slapped her. Her face went ghost white. Dad dropped his phone on the floor. My sister grabbed Mom's sleeve and started whispering frantically. I knew exactly what she was saying. I knew that confused panic in their eyes. The dean kept going. Miss Thompson's work focuses on innovative gene therapy for pediatric cancer patients. Her findings have already attracted multiple pharmaceutical companies. My hands were trembling, not from nerves about the defense, from pure rage I'd been swallowing for a decade. 10 years of anger I'd buried so deep I almost forgot it existed. Almost. I looked straight at them, made direct eye contact with my mother from across that massive room. She was halfway out of her seat, her mouth hanging open. Dad pulled her back down. This was the moment I'd been planning for 3 solid years, the moment everything they believed about me would explode in their faces. But I'm getting ahead of myself. Let me tell you how the family disappointment became Dr. Thompson, how the invisible daughter got a PhD, and how I made sure they were sitting right there when their entire world collapsed. Because this story doesn't start in that auditorium. It starts 10 years earlier in a conversation that changed everything. They tried calling that night, 53 calls, text messages flooding my phone, voicemails that started angry and ended desperate. I blocked every single number. Next morning, Mom showed up at my apartment. I'd moved 3 months earlier without giving them the address. She must have followed me from campus. She pounded on my door. Emily, open this door right now. We need to talk. I opened it, stood in the doorway, didn't invite her inside. There is nothing to talk about. You can't just throw us out. We have nowhere to go. You have 30 days. That's more notice than I got when you moved me to the garage. Her face twisted with anger. That was different. You were young. You didn't need much, and now you don't need much. Figure it out, like I did. What about Jessica? She's devastated. Marcus left because of you. Marcus left because she's a fraud. 24 years old with no work experience. That's on her. Not me. Mom's voice turned sharp and mean. We raised you. We fed you. We gave you a roof over your head. I paid for that roof, every shingle, every mortgage payment, and you locked me out of it on Thanksgiving. We were trying to protect Jessica's future, and I'm protecting mine. We're finished. I closed the door. She kept pounding and screaming. I called building security. They escorted her out. Dad tried next. Showed up at the university. Campus security stopped him at the gate. Dr. Chen had already put him on the restricted access list. Jessica sent long, rambling emails about betrayal, about how I destroyed her life, about family loyalty. I replied exactly once. You destroyed your own life by never building one. I just stopped funding the fantasy. Then I blocked her too. The house sold quickly. Buyers loved it. My family had their 30 days. I didn't extend it by even 1 hour. I heard they moved into a small 2-bedroom apartment, the kind of place they used to call a dump. Dad got a job, first real job in 12 years, car dealership sales lore. Mom started working at a call center. Jessica couldn't find anything. No degree to speak of. No work history. No references. She ended up at a big box store, overnight stock crew. The exact job she'd called pathetic when I did it. 4 months later, I moved across the state. New city. Started at Gene Medics. Corner office. My own lab. A team of researchers working under me. They kept trying to find me. Sent letters everywhere. To the university. To Dr. Chen's office. I ignored every single one. A year later, Jessica tried social media. Sent a friend request and a long message. I'm sorry. I didn't understand how hard you worked. Can we please talk? I deleted it without responding. 2 years later, Mom had a mild heart attack. Dad called from the hospital. She's asking for you. Please, Emily. She's your mother. I hung up. Didn't call back. I'm not cruel. I'm not heartless. I'm just done. They had 10 years to treat me like family. 10 years to say thank you. 10 years to see my value. They chose not to. It's been 5 years now. I'm a principal scientist, 6 patents with my name. My research is in clinical trials. I bought a house, a real house that I actually wanted for myself. I have friends, colleagues who respect me. A life built entirely on my own terms. Last week, I saw Jessica's social media by accident. Still at that retail job, still single, still living with Mom and Dad in that tiny apartment. I felt absolutely nothing. No satisfaction, no guilt, no regret. Nothing. They're strangers who used to know me. That's all they are now. Sometimes colleagues ask about my family. I say I don't have one. It's simpler. It's honest. The family I had stopped existing when they locked me out on Thanksgiving. The family they wanted never included me anyway. So I built my own life, my own success, my own future, and I never once looked back, not even once. I drove to my apartment that night, not the garage. I'd moved out 6 months earlier without telling them. I pulled out every document, bank statements going back 10 years, transfer receipts, all of it. $387,000. That's what I'd given them over 10 years. Then I looked at the mortgage papers I'd requested. The house they'd bought 7 years ago, I'd paid the down payment, $60,000 cash, then monthly payments, $2,000 every month for 7 years. But here's the interesting part. The property deed I'd gotten from county records, owner of record, Doctor Thompson, my name, not theirs, mine. I called the mortgage company first thing next morning. Got transferred around. Yes, ma'am. The property is registered in your name. You're the sole legal owner. How is that possible? If I never signed documents, it appears someone with power of attorney executed the purchase. Linda Thompson signed as your legal representative in 2016. My mother had forged documents, put their house in my name for tax benefits probably, but the result was simple. I owned it legally, completely. They didn't. I hung up and started laughing. They'd handed me a nuclear weapon and didn't even know it. I called a real estate attorney that afternoon. You're the legal owner? He confirmed. You can sell whenever you want. They're technically tenants at will. 30 days notice required. What if they fight it? Fight it with what? Their names aren't on anything. They have no legal standing. Next, I met with a state attorney, set up accounts they couldn't touch, protected my PhD stipend, made every future dollar completely invisible to them. Then I called Dr. Chen, asked her to meet me off campus. I told her everything. She listened without interrupting once. "What do you need?" she asked when I finished. "A job. After my defense. Something real, something public, something they can't ignore. Gene Medics has wanted you for 2 years, since they first saw your research, senior researcher position, starting salary $400,000. I've been holding them off, waiting for you to be ready. $400,000. More than I'd given my family in an entire decade. I'm ready now," I said. "When do you defend?" 6 months. Dr. Chen smiled. "Then let's make it memorable." We planned every single detail, the defense date, the public reception afterward, the contract signing, the guest list, and the invitation I'd send my family, vague enough they wouldn't understand, official enough they'd feel obligated to attend. "You're absolutely sure?" Dr. Chen asked. "Once you do this, there's no going back, no reconciliation." I thought about that locked door, about being erased, about Mom calling Jessica her only child. "I don't want to go back," I said. "I want them gone." I spent the next 6 months preparing, finished my dissertation, lined up my committee, scheduled the defense, contacted a real estate agent to list the house, timed everything for the exact same week, and I practiced. Practiced the speech, the exact words that would destroy them in front of hundreds of witnesses. They kept calling, asking for money. Jessica's wedding kept getting more expensive. Dress fittings, venue changes, honeymoon plans. More and more and more, I sent every dollar they asked for. Kept detailed receipts, added them to the evidence pile. Let them think everything was normal. Let them think I was still their servant, still invisible, still the support player. Because in 6 months, they were going to see me, really see me for the first time. And it was going to cost them absolutely everything. I was 18, 2 weeks from high school graduation. I had my college acceptance letter taped to my wall. State university, full partial scholarship. I'd worked so hard for that scholarship. Mom called me into the kitchen, sat me down, slid a piece of paper across the table. It was Jessica's acceptance letter to a private school, $45,000 per year. "We can't swing this financially," Mom said. Her voice was flat, matter of fact. "We need to make some adjustments." "I have my scholarship," I said. "I can get a part-time job, and Jessica needs this opportunity more than you do." Mom cut me off. "She has potential, real star potential. You're more of a support player." Support player. Those words just hung there in the air. Dad walked in, poured coffee, barely glanced my direction. "Your sister is going places," he said. "She's got charisma. She's beautiful. People like her. You?" He finally looked at me. "You're the behind-the-scenes type. The worker. That's where you fit." Something broke inside my chest, like a crack spreading through ice. "So I just don't go to college?" "You'll go eventually," Mom said. Like she was asking me to wait for the next bus. "Right now, we need you to step up. Jessica's education is an investment. It'll pay off for everyone." That's what I became that day. An investment strategy. A human piggy bank. I got 3 jobs immediately. Morning shift at Danny's Diner. Afternoon cleaning offices. Night shift stocking shelves at a 24/7 grocery store. I slept maybe 4 hours on good nights. Jessica got moved into the nice bedroom. The one with the window seat and the attached bathroom. They moved me into the garage. Actually moved me, with cardboard boxes and everything. "You're barely home anyway," Mom said, while hanging my 4 outfits on a wire rack. "Jessica needs quiet space for studying." The garage had a space heater that worked maybe half the time. Had a cot I bought from Goodwill. Had a mini fridge I saved up for. That was home. That was where I lived. Every 2 weeks, I handed over my paychecks, all 3. Mom would count the cash right in front of me. If I was short even $50, she'd ask why I wasn't working harder. I watched Jessica live her best life. Watched her come home for breaks with stories about parties and Greek life and spring break in Mexico, all funded by me, working 80 hours a week. You should see the dining hall, she'd say at dinner. I'd be standing there serving because Mom said it was more efficient if I just acted like waitstaff. They have sushi bars, actual sushi. She never said thank you. Not once. Never acknowledged where a single dollar came from. I wasn't family at those dinners. I was staff. One night I got home at 2 a.m., found Mom going through my bag. She found a community college brochure. I just picked it up, just looking, just dreaming about maybe someday. She tore it in half right in front of me. Don't get ideas above your station, she said. Jessica graduates in 4 years. Then maybe we can talk about your turn. I was so exhausted, so bone-tired I could barely stand. I just nodded. That was year 1. Just the beginning. By year 3, Jessica wanted grad school. By year 5, she wanted to move to New York for networking. Each new dream cost more money, more hours, more of my life. I became a ghost. The ghost who paid for everything. The invisible daughter. The support player. They stopped putting me in family photos, said I looked too tired and it ruined the aesthetic. 25 years old, living in a garage, working 70+ hours every week, and every single person in my family acted like I should be grateful. But here's what they didn't know, what they never bothered asking about. One of those office buildings I cleaned, it was on a university campus, and I'd been paying very close attention.